I still kind of stink at what I was bad at when I was young. Like I found workarounds. I did stuff around it. I don't know. What is the easiest way to play a guitar solo?
Okay, so guitar solos. There's actually two ways to play a guitar solo. First of all, what is a guitar solo? I mean, a basic definition of a guitar solo is that in a song, there's a period of space or period of time where the guitar is the lead instrument, right? It can be melody, it can be all kind of anything that anybody can ever do on the guitar neck. They can do that, but the point is, the band is playing in the background and the guitar is playing in the lead or in out in front, right? And there's two ways you can play a solo. One is it's very simple. One is you can know what you're going to play, and the other one is you can not know what you're going to play. So when you know what you're going to play, that's an easier way to practice your soloing skills because you can practice. Let's say there's a song with a solo or with a lead part that you really like. You can focus and break that solo down little piece by little piece by little piece by little piece until you've learned the whole thing. And then you can do what's called rehearsing. So when we practice, we're trying to get better at a particular skill. When we practice a whole song or practice playing a composition or a piece, that's called rehearsing. So we can rehearse the solo at that point. So after we rehearse the solo, then whenever, let's say, we play at a coffee shop or we just play for our own enjoyment at home over our favorite songs or wherever it is on stage, if you're in a band, you play the solo as it was written, as you learned it, as you rehearsed it. Okay, that's the first way that you can play a solo. And that's usually where everybody starts. The second way is by not knowing what you're going to play, and that's what we call improvising. So I want to make a distinction between soloing and improvising. You can play a solo that is not improvised, and you can also improvise that's not a solo. So what I mean is you can play in the background, you can improvise what you're playing while maybe another part of the band, like a saxophone player, for example, is playing a solo or is playing the lead part, right? Improvising just means you're improvising. It means you're making it up on the spot. Now, obviously, improvising as a guitar and music is a lifetime pursuit anyway. Improvising is a double lifetime pursuit, right? It's something that you're always pursuing. You're always getting better at. It's just like reading. Like if you like to read books, if you like to learn things, there's no end point for learning things. You're just going to want to keep getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. That's how it works with improvising as well. So with improvising, I know this question wasn't about how to improvise. It was about how the easiest way to play a solo. The easiest way to play a solo is to learn a simple solo from a song you like and learn it piece by piece by piece by piece until you can put the whole thing together and then rehearse the whole thing in a song so that you can play it with the song. That's the easiest way to start playing solos. As a little bit of a bonus tip, if you want to start being able to improvise, what I always recommend is you start with what we call the seven feelings or a little box that has the seven different feelings in it. And that allows it allows your ear to hear the different tensions, the different feelings that you want to play when you hear background music. And that will get you used to starting to move around on the fretboard a little bit. And then we have tools and we have frameworks and things that we can build, like the Freedom Key system, for example. There's a 7-string pattern that we use that literally unlocks the entire fretboard. Sounds crazy because I say 7 strings. Most people have a 6-string guitar, but it is a 7-string pattern. You have to imagine the imaginary string. My point is, we have these tools that will allow you to improvise more and more and more on the fretboard. Now, when it comes to the style of what you do with all those tools on the fretboard, it goes back to what I said about reading. It's kind of like if you remember going to school, maybe you had a library, maybe they made you read some books, and they have what's called reading levels. So at third grade reading level, it's reading level for third graders. When you go to fifth grade, you have a fifth grade reading level. When you go to 12th grade, you have a 12th grade reading level or a college level reading level. Learning music, and especially improvising, is exactly like learning a language because it is a language. When you need to start out at a low quote reading level so that your phrases, the things that you're trying to say, are very simple, your musical sentences, so to speak. And the more advanced you get, the better you get at improvising and doing, executing these musical ideas that you have, just like sharing your opinion with your mouth. That's what you're doing when you're improvising on guitar. You're sharing your musical opinion. You're sharing your emotional opinion is what it really is. When you progress, it's just like reading more books. How do you progress in your reading level? You learn more words and you read more books because new books give you new ideas. So listening to music and listening to over time more and more and more complex music gives you more and more and more complex musical ideas that you will then over time incorporate to your playing until you're somebody like Joe Satriani or Gary Moore or Eric Clapton or any of those guys, right? They're not any different than any of us. They just follow the process that I just laid out, and they've just been doing it a long time.
Yep. Yep. And nobody here likes Joe Satriani at all. No, no, it's not. I don't have posters signed by him behind my desk right now. So, yeah.
And you didn't go to his concert the other day.
Not at all.
And you didn't meet him
Not at all.
backstage either.
I didn't. No. Yeah. And I think it's funny when you hear, when you really admire certain players too, hearing them say the same exact things that we say about ourselves and to ourselves as well. So everything you just said, I did in fact talk to Joe about like his practice routines and how he gets everything moving. And it was very funny to hear him say like, I still kind of stink at what I was bad at when I was young. Like I found workarounds. I did stuff around it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's very funny to hear that. So that's good. I think that makes a lot of sense. And coming again from like classical guitar and learning music step by step, measure by measure, it's very helpful in that way. And I think the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is when you're learning those solos and those lead parts from all of the players you like, you start to kind of take a little bit of each of them in a way to create your own style. I mean, 100% of guitarists are created as a culmination of all the guitarists they followed and listened to and played until they created their own unique style as well. So very good. Very good. Hey there, and thanks for watching that video. That's just one of our shorter clips from the longer Q&A sessions we do a ton here at Breakthrough Guitar. And if you're interested in seeing those and seeing everything that we have here, I highly recommend you click the button right there and subscribe. Also, speaking of the other videos we do, feel free to click right over there to start digging into those and advancing your guitar playing. We look forward to it, and we will see you next time.